Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing the Bank of Thailand yet again. I did a video recently talking about there was some consternation surrounding the idea of appointing a new chairman to the Bank of Thailand. That said, I thought of making this video after reading a recent article from the Bangkok Post, bangkokpost.com. Article is titled, Bank of Thailand Tempers Anxiety About Chair, quoting directly, Satit Limpongpan, chairman of the selection committee tasked with choosing the new board chairman of the Bank of Thailand, has confirmed the position will not have any influence on the central bank's monetary policy. Remember that, I'll come back to that. Hold on a second. Quoting further, he said under the amended Bank of Thailand Act of 2008, the board chairman has no authority to interfere with the policies of the regulator's three policy-making committees, the Monetary Policy Committee, MPC, the Financial Institutions Policy Committee, and the Payment Systems Committee, which all operate independently. I think it's noteworthy. Look, when they talk about the Fed, it's kind of been a big brouhaha like the last week, especially on FinTwit, sort of financial Twitter, now X, whatever, talking about the fact that Jerome Powell, somebody asked him, well, what if Donald Trump wants to fire you? And he basically said, well, he can't fire me. He doesn't have authority to do that. The way that the Fed was created, if you're really interested in this, I urge you read the book, The Creature from Jekyll Island by G. Edward Griffin. It's a great book on how the Fed was created. Quite honestly, it was created under subterfuge, and then it was sort of rolled out. And it's very unresponsive, if you will, to the popular will. Let's put it that way. Thailand's Bank of Thailand, on the other hand, is not quite like the Fed. In many ways, I actually kind of prefer the Bank of Thailand structure because it actually does react to public feedback, basically, for lack of a better term. Now, you got to strike a good balance with that because you don't want people who don't know what they're talking about impacting monetary policy. The other thing you have to worry about is the moment people realize they can vote themselves benefits by inflating their own currency, they'll do it. I mean, that's just sort of the way it is. We know this throughout history. So it's good to have mechanisms in place to forestall that because, yeah, you can vote yourself a sugar high, and frankly, the West is learning this, primarily the Americans, by printing all this money for COVID response, and now everybody's running around, where'd all this inflation come from? Well, when you print 2 times the amount of money that exists in the system, it's gonna dilute its purchasing power. That's just kind of the way it works. I mean, it's basic monetary economics. But that said, again, the Fed is not overly, shall we say, swayable, if you will, by a lot of public opinion. Here in Thailand, the BOT sort of is. I say sort of is. It's not overly swayed by a lot of public opinion, but I would argue it's more, again, it reacts more directly to feedback from the public and from the greater polity than does the Fed. I would say that based on just my outside sort of layperson's observation. That said, again, quoting again, has confirmed the position will not have any influence on the central bank's monetary policy. Then you go further down in the video, there's a quote from, I believe, some sort of financial planner. Quoting directly, it says, we need to see whether the new chairman will affect central bank policy. So on the one hand, they're saying, well, it doesn't affect central bank policy. And then on the other hand, they say, well, we have to wait to see if this person's going to impact central bank policy. And I urge people who are watching this video that are really interested in this topic, check out that article. It does do a good job of going into some of the details about sort of the Byzantine inner workings of the Bank of Thailand. But that said, again, if nothing else, you know, the whole article was about, well, this position isn't that big of a deal, and he didn't have that much influence. And then it goes on and say, well, we got to see after he gets in how much influence it is. Also, as of the time of this video, as you'll see in that article, they're not naming who they've picked for the central bank chairmanship for now. So again, that remains to be seen. So we will certainly be keeping you updated on this channel as this situation evolves.